it's such a mentally tough sport already. And then when we add the pressure, and a lot of times the pressure doesn't even necessarily come from people. Gymnasts tend to be perfectionists. That is why they make great gymnasts, because they, doing the bare minimum is never enough. Getting a 9.9 when they know they can get a 9.95. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. I am your host, Bridget Sloan, and this season we are talking all things NCAA gymnastics, from the athletes to the coaches to the insiders who make it all happen. And we are so excited to partner with our friends over at Spieth, and we'll be giving away 4 tickets to this year's NCAA championship. Make sure to keep an eye on our socials for ways to enter. And for today's guest, she's beautiful, she's brave, and she is wonderful. It is me. So let's get started. Well, guys, you asked us and we listened. Welcome to the Mailbag episode for Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. Let's get into it because you guys sent in some amazing questions, and you might like my answers, you might not, but guess what? They're mine. So here we go. There was a lot of questions about NCAAs and conference championships coming up. So let's just lay it all out there that there were a lot of questions like that. So I'm going to answer all of them that I can. But question number 1 was 4 on the floor predictions. And I just want to be clear that it was actually typed out FOTF predictions. And I had to really think about what that meant. So I applaud myself for figuring it out. But 4 on the floor predictions, that is a really hard question, because there are a lot of really good teams. I think, oh gosh, I mean, if I had to pick like one right now today, it would be Oklahoma, LSU, Cal, and Florida. If I had to pick just one. But that's probably, I mean, that could be it. It probably won't be. I'm sure there will be other teams, but I do think, or it could be maybe Oklahoma, LSU, UCLA. I just really think Cal will be in there. I do. And you can be upset with me, but I really think Cal is going to be in there. Gosh, that's a really hard one to start with, because the 4 on the floor, I mean, there's only 4 teams that are going to make it, and 4 teams are going to be competing for that national championship on that day. But who gets there is, I wish I had a magic ball and I could tell you, because I really don't know. And I think that's what makes gymnastics so exciting. Okay. This is a question that I got asked a lot. The SEC drama. Do you think all teams should be able to compete? 100% yes. I don't really understand how we got to this point of having only 8 teams compete when there's 9 teams in the conference. They don't really ask our opinion / my opinion. So I don't really understand it. I think it makes me really sad, because the SEC is such a tough and difficult conference, and we're excluding a team that is so good. And yeah, I 1,000,000% though, I think all 9 teams should be able to compete in the conference championship. End of story. But that is my view, and is not the view for everybody. So that's kind of how we got here, because the next question is, what do you think about the SEC leaving one team out? I hate it. I just don't like it. I don't get it. And maybe that's why I don't like it, because I really don't understand why. So that's, I'm all about all the teams competing, whether it, they broke it up into 2 sessions. We always do. That's how it's always been. And doing that is super important to make sure that everybody gets a chance. And now that we have 9 teams, all of a sudden, we are excluding a team. So do I like it? No. Do I think it's necessary? No. But again, that's just my opinion. And yeah. Which underdog team do you think has a better chance of making it to the finals? Ooh, this one really got me, because they only listed 3, which were Mizzou, Michigan State, and Oregon State. Ooh. So I have covered actually all 3 of these teams this season. Missouri looks they look good. They look good. Michigan State looks great. Oregon State, I saw them really early in the season, and they were super exciting to watch. I feel like you're not gonna like the answer that I have because I have no idea. It could be anybody's day. That's the thing. That's what's annoying with gymnastics is you can be ranked number 1 all season long and just have an off day, and that's when your season ends. It has happened before. So, again, the underdog team, I also don't really love using the term underdog because all of these teams, Missouri, Michigan State, Oregon State, and there are plenty more, they have a fighting chance no matter what. And to use the term underdog just makes me think it's like a surprise, which I'm not surprised by any team that will be making it to the finals. I'm really not. I'm not even going to be surprised at who advances to NCAA championships because every single team is getting so much better. They are elevating their gymnastics. They are just, I mean, they're peaking at the right time, it seems like, across the board, which is so impressive. And yeah, so again, I'm sure you're not gonna love it, but I don't really have one. I guess if I had to pick one though, it would be Missouri. I absolutely love what Shannon has done with that program and continues to do with that program, and I'm really, really excited to see that they've had so much success this year, and it seems like they are just moving in the right direction. They are getting better every single week, which is just really cool to see. So this question was really funny because I was thinking about it today. What NCAA teams would you put your Beijing '08 sisters on who didn't already compete? So who from my team would I put on a college team that didn't already compete? So Sam and myself, I'm sorry, we are booted. Okay, so that leaves Sean, Nastia, Alicia, and Chelsea. Okay. To be honest, I could see Nastia at UCLA. I could. I feel like and I guess here, wait. This is when they were competing. This is, like, not who they are today. This is when they were competing. So, Nastia, I could see at UCLA. I could. Sean, I mean, she could have been at Georgia. I think she would have been a great Georgia gymnast. If she had that opportunity, I think she would have done very well there. Chelsea, Chelsea, where would you go? She is my birthday buddy. Part of me just, like, wants to say she'd go to, like, Stanford. I don't know why, but she just seems like someone that would go to Stanford. And Alicia, where would you go? She did go to Brown for a hot minute. I could see oh gosh, I could see Alicia at a lot of colleges. I feel like Alicia would thrive in the SEC somewhere. I just don't know where. Hmm. Okay, so to recap, Nastia, she's going to UCLA. Sean's going to Georgia. Chelsea is going to Stanford. And Alicia is going, you know what? Alicia's going to join me at Florida. I could see it. I could see it. What a time that would have been. Ooh. Okay. What upsets do you think could happen this postseason? A lot. That is what makes postseason so exciting. But as an athlete, it always, I don't want to say it made me nervous going into postseason because it was always an exciting time. You get through regular season and the grind is very real during regular season. You are competing every single weekend. Ultimately, you're trying to improve every single weekend. So when you get to postseason, it's like taking a big, deep breath and like having a little bit of weight lifted off your shoulders. But then it gets even worse because all of a sudden you become nervous about what's to come. You know, in order to get to NCAAs, you have to advance from regionals. And well, let's just say I never really had that good of regionals. I don't think there was one year specifically, like we almost didn't make it because of regionals. So I think regionals is a very important competition. And I think it's getting a lot more recognition because of the importance that it carries. And we see teams often expect to move on from regionals. And again, if you have a bad day and another team has one of their best days, you might not make it. So I think that's what makes, again, I think that's what makes postseason so interesting. I do think there will be some upsets. There are always upsets. I mean, I think that is just sports in general, but especially NCAA gymnastics. There are always going to be upsets, whether it is individual upsets, whether it's team upsets, there will absolutely be some. Now, what are they going to be? I have no idea. I think I can't even begin to guess what the upset might be, but I'm sure there will be some for sure. I mean, I'm pretty confident in that. If there is one thing you could change about college gymnastics, what would it be? Wow. This is a little bit of a loaded question. Um, hmm. Think there's a lot of things I would change. I just wish, and I know I don't mean to get in the weeds about this, but judging is just, I mean, it's a little bit of a struggle right now. We're not going to get too into it, but it is. And we see it. We know it. I'm telling you right now, coaches are aware of it. I hope athletes do not pay attention to it because gymnastics is a completely subjective sport. It is judged, as we all know. So it's really, really hard to be perfect on judging. I don't even know if it's possible. You know, there's a lot of people that get upset with athletes that get a perfect 10 that maybe they didn't think the routine was perfect. And when they get upset with like an athlete, it's just kind of sad to me because I think back of it's not their fault. It's not like they asked the judges, "Hey, I know my routine wasn't perfect, but I really need this perfect 10." And it it makes me kind of sad when I see that happen, but I also do not know what it takes to be a judge. I don't know what it's like to be a judge, so I cannot speak on maybe the pressure that they are feeling. But if I had to change one thing, I wish there was a way to find a perfect balance, which probably doesn't exist, but I do wish there was a way because a perfect 10, there are absolutely athletes out there in routines that deserve it that don't seem to get them. And I think we put a lot of pressure on the perfect 10. I know as an athlete, I put a lot of pressure on myself because once you get one, you want them every weekend. You want one on every single event. And that I think my takeaway would be changing the amount of pressure that is put on athletes. And I think that can go across the board, but specifically gymnastics, it's such a mentally tough sport already, and then when we add the pressure and a lot of times the pressure doesn't even necessarily come from people. Gymnasts tend to be perfectionists. That is why they make great gymnasts because doing the bare minimum is never enough. Getting a 9.9 when they know they can get a 9.95, that 9.9 is not enough. They're always striving to be better. So that added pressure can be really challenging to navigate. Um, so yeah. So that would be one thing I would change. Maybe figure out a way to navigate the pressure of being a college athlete. And then I understand we want to fix the judging. I do too, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know what the balance will be. I don't know what it needs to be, but I know that we will get there. We will get there. I'm confident that we will get there. Ooh, I did like this question a lot because I've been thinking about it a lot. What do you think of the realignment? Hmm. I kind of think it's awesome. I think that we are seeing teams compete against each other in the regular season regularly that we would not see in years past. We didn't see in years past. So I think it is absolutely encouraging exposure, positive exposure at that. I think we are seeing just teams get better and better, not because it's not like teams are getting better and better every weekend because they have to. It's not a want, it's an absolute need because in order to make it to the top, in order to be crowned a national champion, you have to be improving every single weekend. And it kind of starts during preseason. If I'm being completely honest, like these are goals that these teams and these athletes put into place and like started working on day one of preseason. So I think the realignment, it's a little crazy, like location wise. I do think the geography of it is a little wild to me, but again, nobody asked my opinion. Either way, I think it's crazy, but I do think it is so cool to see the teams that are coming over. I mean, right now, let's be honest, in the SEC, Oklahoma and LSU, they're co-champions for regular season. In the Big 10, you have UCLA, who has just been dominating all season long. And in the ACC, you have Cal, who has been, again, dominating. In the Big 12, Utah. I think it's exciting to see the realignment. I think it took a little bit of understanding. I know when I first heard about it, I thought it was absolutely insane. And I didn't understand it. But now that I've been on the other side and I've been able to really hear some of the coaches talk about it and the positivity that it has had on the program itself is really cool to see. So from a big picture standpoint, I actually think the realignment, I don't want to say it's a good thing because I also have I'm not competing in the realignment of the, you know, whoa, I'm not competing. I'm not an active athlete. So I don't really know what the realignment means as an athlete, but as a viewer and as an analyst, I do think it opens a lot of doors. And I think it's really cool to see these teams compete against teams that they're used to only seeing in postseason. And now they're seeing them in regular season. And that's exciting stuff. Okay. Huh. Whoever wrote this question, hello. How mad are you that NIL was not a thing when you were in college? Well, I think that my college career was very positive. I have no regrets of my college career. Do I think I would have maybe had a different career if NIL was involved? Sure. Do I think that I would be in the position that I am today at 32 years old? It would probably be different if NIL was involved. But I think it's important to allow athletes to be set up for the future. And if NIL is how, is how they're going to do it, that's great. Do maybe I wish that I would have made a little money? Sure. That would have been great. But you know what? It's okay because everything worked out the way that it's supposed to. I am a firm believer and everything happens for a reason. So that's that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say like I was mad. I wasn't mad, but I was just like, that's cool. I was like, man, what could have been? And we'll never know. And that's okay. We don't have to know. Okay. You competed a triple full on floor. That is true. It was actually one of my favorite skills that I ever competed. Why is this common on floor but not attempted on vault? Well, I don't know. I was never a good vaulter, so I would have never attempted. I couldn't even do a Yurchenko 2.5. I tried for a hot minute and it was not for me. So I think it's just really hard. It's hard to do a triple twist on floor, let alone on vault. I don't know. Again, I think we should ask like someone who was really good at vault, like maybe Simone Biles. I think she could answer that question. And I'm pretty sure she attempted a triple twist once or twice. I could be wrong. But if anybody could answer that question of why people are not doing it, I feel like it could be her. Um, I don't think I'm a very good representation of why someone can or cannot do a triple twist on vault. Okay. What was the hardest part of going from elite gymnastics to college? Ooh. So, this is one of my passion projects. I love being able to assist athletes in the transition because it's really hard. It's really scary. Going to college in general is scary. And when you, especially coming from elite, the without a doubt, the biggest and most difficult part of the transition from elite to college was competing every weekend. Like, no doubt in my mind. It took me a solid, I bet a year to maybe, well, not a year. I bet it took me a season, a full season to almost a season and a half until I realized what I needed to do in order to keep my body healthy, in order to be ready every single weekend. And for me specifically, I wanted to do all around every single weekend, but that was not going to happen. A lot of times it is challenging going from, again, an elite. I think I might have competed like 3 or 4 times a year within a whole year. And now going into college, you're competing every single weekend. I think a lot of times it takes a lot of maturity to understand what your body needs. It takes a lot of trust in your coaches to talk to them about what you need specifically. Gymnastics is such a team oriented sport in NCAA, but at the same time, it is still very individualized because every single athlete is going to need something different. And you might be on a team right now and say, me and my teammates, we all need the same thing. And that is amazing. That is great. But a majority of the time, each athlete is going to need something different. Me, for example, I needed to do extra work. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it, but I knew that I had to. So I was in the weight room quite frequently on top of practice because that's what I needed to do. And I realized it, I want to say it was maybe my sophomore year. I was like, yeah, I'm going to become really close with our strength and conditioning coach because I'm going to be in this weight room often. And I was. And to be honest, it helped me be mentally very strong, but it also helped me physically to understand again what my body needed in order to be successful. Because when you're successful as an individual, it's only going to help the success of the team. And that's what NCAA is all about, is the team. So I think the hardest part of me transitioning from elite gymnastics into college was just learning what my body needed in order to compete every weekend. Because you also have to think in elite, well, again, I can only speak for myself, but I was driven to and from practice. Well, for a long time, it was just my mom. She would drive me to and from practice, which means in the car, I'd be doing homework, I'd be eating, I would go to practice, I would come home, I'd probably eat dinner in the car, and then I would get home, do my homework, and go to bed. So that was my routine. And that was my routine for a very long time. And I am someone that when you interrupt my routine, I struggle. I do not like it when my routine gets interrupted. That is why it is my routine. And that was a really big shift for me of understanding that even when your routine gets interrupted, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. Now, when I was, 20 years old dealing with that, it was not okay. I did not handle it well. And we lived and we learned. And that is growth. And that is what college is all about. But again, without a doubt, the hardest part for me and the biggest struggle of the transition was just learning again what my body needed. And also learning that, when you're competing every single weekend, you might not do all around every weekend. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're not capable enough. It's because the coaches are looking at the big picture. And sometimes I know, again, for me, I got super tunnel vision and I was only looking at that weekend. I was like, what do you mean I can't compete all around? Well, in the big picture, it actually worked out perfectly because I was ready when I needed to be. I was ready come postseason. And again, it took me a long time to understand that. I don't know if anybody would believe this, but I was very stubborn as an athlete. I was borderline a brat. It's okay. I'm allowed to say it. It was me. So again, that was just something that I really struggled with, was identifying what my body needed in order for me to be successful throughout the season, not just me wanting to go balls to the wall every single weekend and compete all 4 events, because that wasn't gonna happen. Um, okay. What do you miss most about gymnastics? Mm, not a lot. I I think actually what I miss is just being on a team. That's something that I think I took for granted a little bit. I didn't realize how much I would miss that in my adult life, in my post-college life. It's fun when you live 3 minutes from your teammates. It's fun when you live 3 minutes from your friends, and then the older you get, you kinda realize it's more common to live, like, 3 states away from your friends, not 3 minutes. So that I do wish, and I do miss that. I wish I would've maybe embraced it a little bit more in college, just because it's something that sometimes I'm like, "Man, it would be so cool if I had a whole team and I could just go hang out with them." Uh, but at the same time, you kinda get to form your own new team. So, post gymnastics, for me, it was kind of finding who I was as an athlete was really challenging, or who I was not who I was as a non-athlete, who I was as a person is what I'm trying to say, without athletics. That's what I'm trying to say. I had an identity crisis essentially, because I really only knew myself as an athlete, and now that sports were done, it was kinda like, "Who am I?" Um, and in gymnastics, it's very easy to figure out who you are because you're a gymnast. That's who I was. I was a gymnast, and then realizing after graduation, I wasn't really able to say I was a student athlete anymore or a gymnast, because I was neither. That was hard, but, what do I miss most about gymnastics? I really do think it's the team. I don't miss practicing, I don't miss competing, I do not miss the leotards or the hair or the I don't miss any of that, but I do miss the team. Um, that's something that I miss. How did you get involved in Beam Queen Boot Camp? Wow, shout out Sam. So this specific BQBC, Beam Queen Boot Camp, it started, and Sam's gonna get really upset with me because I don't remember when it started. A few years back, I bet it started in like 2017. I'm gonna say it started in 2017. I don't know if that's correct or not, Sam. I'm so sorry. Um, But Samantha Peshek is the CEO, the founder of Beam Queen Bootcamp, and it's just one of those things that it was the right time. We had all the things, or I had all the things that maybe Sam was looking for, I guess, and I just started helping out with coaching, and it has just grown and grown to a point where it's amazing to see the growth of what that camp has been able to accomplish. It's also really important to me to give back to gymnastics, and Beam Queen has really allowed me to not only just help athletes, but like empathize with athletes when they're, talking to me about going through something that I also went through. And I think it's just an amazing opportunity to help the future Olympians. We are helping the future of gymnastics at every single camp. So I do as many as I can. But ultimately it was because Sam and I were friends, and Sam needed me, and she still needs me today. So you're welcome. Okay. Where were you recruited to for college? So I actually got my very first recruiting letter. I was 10 years old, I think. I'm pretty sure I was 10. And it was from Denver. I thought it was so cool. I didn't even know if I wanted to do college gymnastics, by the way. I didn't know I wanted to do college gymnastics till I was I bet I was almost a junior in high school. Actually, it was probably like later of my sophomore year, which nowadays is wildly late. I don't even know if you could I don't know if today you could wait that long to decide that you want to do college gymnastics, let alone get recruited. So one might say I was a late bloomer with NCAA gymnastics, and I was recruited by Georgia, Utah, and Florida. Those three. I am very happy with my decision to go to Florida. Was it one of the hardest decisions of my life? 1,000,000%. Because I was one of those people, I pretty much walked on just about every single campus and thought this was for me. I genuinely thought this is it. This is where I belong. And I didn't actually even want to go on my Florida visit. Terrible, I know. I didn't. And it took both my parents did not push me. I was very, very fortunate and I'm very blessed that my parents always kind of allowed me to be in the driver's seat with my athletic career. Really with any goal that I have, my parents are very big on supporting me, but they will not be the decision maker. And I was pretty dead set on where I was going to go, and then I believe it was my dad said, "You should probably just go to Florida to see. Like, why not?" Basically, it was kinda like a why not go, and I'm pretty happy that I did go because as soon as I walked onto campus and met the team and really got to experience what it would be like to be a Gator gymnast, I mean, I was hooked. I was sold. It was, without a doubt, the best recruiting trip I had been on from a student athlete perspective of kind of like, this is what it could look like for you. It pretty much checked all the boxes for me. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with my decision. I think I made the right decision, but I will say I am very happy that I did wait a little bit. And again, I know that's crazy in today's world. I don't know if that could actually even happen, but I was really happy because I ultimately, you know, before even deciding I wanted to go to college, I went to the 2008 Olympics and I won the world championships all before I kind of realized I wanted to go to college and do gymnastics. And it was really not until Sam came to my gym and we were teammates and I got to see kind of her be recruited. And I believe when she came to train with me, I want to say she was already committed to UCLA. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was because I remember distinctly there was one day where Miss Val came into the gym and I thought it was so cool. Like I saw her and obviously I didn't even know at the time if I really wanted to do gymnastics in college, but I saw her come in and like Sam was so excited and so happy. And I was like, yeah, I want that. I want that. So again, where I was recruited, Georgia, Utah, and Florida were the top people, top colleges that were recruiting me. Those were the only 3 colleges that I did visits for. I guess it's easier to say that. So yeah, but very happy with my decision. Okay, some untold stories from elite days. Guys, I don't remember, like my memory is bad. It is not good. There are people out there that know more about my athletic career than I do. And I was there. I was physically there competing. And I have been told stories about like things that I have done or something that I won. And I'm like, that is so great. I didn't even know that I did that. So to have some untold stories from elite days. Also, let's remember that in elite, I was really weird. I did not socialize. I was a weird little pale girl from Indiana. It was I was a very different person than who I am now. We'll just say that. So, I really didn't talk to a lot of people. I was the weird girl. It's okay. I can say that because it was me, but I feel like I don't really have any, like, untold stories. Isn't that boring? I wish I did. I wish I had, like, juicy gossip for you, but I really have nothing. I'm even trying to think, like that's sad. I have to really think about this and I'm coming up blank. Um, so yeah, sorry, that didn't answer that at all. Untold stories from elite days. I have none. I have a feeling that there will be people out there that will tell me some of my untold stories that they probably remember that maybe I have talked about and I'm just forgetting right now. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that sent in questions. This is one of my favorite episodes to do, mainly because I get to hear from listeners and kind of what they want to hear and what questions they have. And, we're always for the people. We are always here to listen to your questions. And again, you got to hear my answers. They are mine. So you can either like them or love them. Those are your two options. All right, guys, we have had a lot of entries for our ticket giveaway. As a reminder, we are partnering with our friends over at Spieth, and we are giving away 4 tickets to this year's NCAA championship. But I want to be able to give you listeners a bonus entry. So we're going to be posting a photo on our social channel, and the answer is coming at you right now. The answer to this question, it will give you that bonus entry, is the name of my fur children. I have 2, Miss Stella and Penny. So make sure to DM our social channel. Make sure to write in there Stella and Penny to make sure that you are getting a bonus entry for those NCAA tickets. And that wraps up today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in each week because we'll be dropping new episodes from the amazing guests that I have lined up for you. I am your host, Bridget Sloan, and this is season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Let's make some good life choices out there, and don't forget to be awesome. Bye, guys.